With temperatures in the 20s and continuing to drop, drivers need to be cautious out here on these roads. Now the business is taking some extra measures to hopefully prevent this from happening again. The sign behind me says no hats, no hoodies. The Kmart here on Division Street is closing after higher-ups announced it is no longer considered profitable. But it's not really doing much, obviously. This rains from days ago, and it's still here. I have been here since 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll be here till 7. It's all for a good cause. The two races I'm covering tonight are the Vienna mayoral race and the education bond levy here in Wood County. Olympians spend hours each day dedicating time and effort to the sport that they love. But putting in that work is easier said than done. We will also be live here at 5 and 6 tonight. And again, our Mary Smith is hosting the opening ceremonies.
If I can be only even just half as good a person as my father, then I would have lived a good life.
A military man, a Christian, and a scoutmaster. According to those who knew him, Glenn Miller inspired the lives of those he touched daily.
As the pastor was leaving, he turned to look at my father, and my father said, "Praise the Lord." And as far as we know, those were his last words.
Tony Rajanis was Glenn Miller's assistant scoutmaster for over a decade. He was inducted into the Eagle Scouts by Miller in 1974.
No matter what he did, what we did as a troop, there was always a learning experience when Glenn Miller was leading the troop.
Rajanis said Miller never met a stranger, and he treated everyone he met with respect.
He kept an eye on you. You know, he didn't let you go out and let the other kids intimidate you.
Miller guided almost 150 boys into the Eagle Scouts during his 53 years as Scoutmaster, and those who knew him best say the 12 points of the Scout Law is what he lived by.
I didn't get to be a Boy Scout because I'm a girl, but I still got to learn all of the things that he taught them. He taught me too.
Miller's daughter says he volunteered as the stand-in leader of Troop 16 at the Lockport United Methodist Church and continued the work because he believed in the organization. So 53 years later, his Eagle Scouts will continue his legacy as Rajanis takes over operations of Troop 16. Avery Savage, WTAP, Parkersburg.
I have absolutely nothing to say until we're in a court of law.
Residents in a Mineral Wells apartment complex are fed up with waiting. Lincolnshire Apartments was affected by the floods back in July of 2015, and 9 months later it was also affected by hail damage, which caused the siding of many of the homes in the apartment complex to be removed.
It's absolutely unacceptable. It's full of holes and cracks, and it rained horribly bad Saturday night, so the inside of the walls absolutely have to be wet.
Residents originally tried to talk to those in charge of the complex.
She said, "There's insulation on there, so the siding has nothing to do with your electric bill."
Then a resident contacted us asking for help. They have also reached out to county and state officials but haven't been able to solve the problem. RLJ Management Company out of Columbus, Ohio owns the complex, so neither state or county will intervene. So residents are stuck with heating bills that have almost tripled in less than a month.
$29.99 to $73, and more than twice that in 11 days this month so far.
Roger Kellar has lived in the apartments for years and says there are a number of problems in the complex. The siding is just the latest. The real challenge is tracking someone down to speak to about the issues.
Probably have a better shot at getting Trump or Hillary on the phone, probably. It was 2 weeks before I got a response, and then, as I said earlier, I think I was allotted 8 minutes to explain to them what kind of lies they were telling us.
I spoke with the company managing the property, and they said the missing siding shouldn't affect residents' heating bills. But with wiring exposed, insulation that's soaked, and cracks down the side of the building, how can it not? Residents had received conflicting responses from that company about when exactly the work would be completed.
First, they told me it was on back order because it was so old that it had to be special ordered.
She told me that it's on back order and that there's nothing they can do about it. It's all up to the contractors.
And then finally, Mr. Kellar received a response similar to what I was told.
Mr. Keller, now you know we can't hang siding in the wintertime, it'll crack, which is another crock.
Residents are obviously frustrated. I contacted a representative from the company who said the siding should be installed this weekend, but residents aren't so confident, so we'll see. Back to you.